So the last session we discussed about configuring user account. So basically, like we talk about, we have two types of account. One of the user we have local account, and we also have a domain account. So we talk about two types of account here: user account. So one of the account we have local account, or we can say local user. So this account, it is one of the account which is actually created on local machine. So the local machine represent the computer where you install XP, Vista, Windows 7, Windows 10 operating system, or personally, like when you install operating system, by default, whatever account you use, the default account will be, we call it as the the machine we use in terms of work group account. Okay. So apart from that, like when you talk about a corporate network, so on the top of corporate network, when you make account, means the next category on account we have a domain account. So domain is like one of the account which is especially created on Active Directory, and this account will be having a lot of features. Okay. So last time I told you like why company use prefer a domain account, why not a local account? So local is one of the account which is especially log on to a device where it was created. If I create account in my laptop, so I need to use only here. So I cannot use this account anywhere. Means the same account, if I want to use another laptop, you have to make separate account on that by that name. Then you can able to log in and you can use that account. Okay. Similarly, like one of the feature of domain account. So domain account will be making on Active Directory, and this account can be logged on to any machine in a network. So whatever the machine that you join to the domain, so anywhere in network the user can be logged in. Okay, but all the time we even have the question like, as administrator, I don't want the user login to PC5. I don't want he login to PC1. I want he login to only on a PC2 device. Okay. So restrictions, maybe in coming session, I'll try to show you, like when we talk about the policies, in that time, I will try to show you like in which machine the user can log in, at what time he can log in, and what kind of resources he can access. So day by day, like we'll be talking about some kind of restriction part here. Okay. So in today's class, we try to discuss one more basic class for MCSE. So today we'll be discussing about the shared folders. Okay. So as an administrator, we already have idea like what is shares, how to create, how to access, as well as how, when you share the data, how the data will be accessed. Okay. But only one time as an administrator, we need to see this. Okay. Even some people still have confusion. We create a network. On the top of network, when you try to store the data, so how the data we need to access over the network. So we have multiple methods. Okay. So we try to discuss some of the methods, maybe like commands, it may be like graphical methods. Okay. So in today's class, like before we understand what is shared folder, so first we need to understand a word here, folder. Okay. And I think like no need to explain about the folder. We already have idea. So whenever you open my computer, so let's say I open my computer, and for me, I'll be having some partitions here. Okay. So one of the partition for me like C partition, D partition, E partition. So if you want, you can have one partition, you can have three partition, you can have two partitions. So it doesn't matter whatever partitions you want, you can create, depends on the requirement, or depends on the space what you have in your hard disk. So whenever you open any partition, so when you try to store the data, so normally what actually we do, we try to store the data in terms of folder. So what actually we do, now we create a folder, and this folder actually contains some kind of information. Okay. But actual data is file. Okay. So when you open a folder, so what folder give you? So the folder give you information. The folder give you the data. So the actual data that you access for your machine is file. Okay. It may be like PDF file. It may be a picture file. It may be, the document file. It may be your ISO image file. It may be your video file. So when you talk about the file, the actual data, when you try to access from your machine, so the data that actually display in your machine is file. but we cannot keep all the file direct in a partition. So normally, let's say if I say like I have a machine, and on the top of machine, let's say I have only one partition. So whenever you try to store the data, so normally like we never store the data direct on partition. So before you store data, normally like we actually create a folder. Why? Because folder is actually called a container. In that folder, you try to keep all your data. It may be your personal data, it may be your company data, it may be like your resume, it may be your the videos, it may be your pictures. So whatever the data you want, you can able to store here. So like this, I already have a lot of data here. Okay. So if you start storing the files direct, for me, it is not easy to understand. We cannot able to understand like what what data I store on what partitions. Okay. So basically, folder we use for easy administration, and folder allow a person to manage the data uh, as well as you can easily understand the data if you keep in terms of folder. Okay. So folder give you easy administration. Similarly, from folder, the word comes share folder. Okay. So from folder only we have a word share folder. So share folder is nothing but share folder again. It's like a folder that contains information, but which can be accessed over the network. This is we need to understand easy. Okay. So this thing in today's class we try to understand. So what is the actual difference between like folder and share folder? Okay. So to understand, I'll be having an example here. So anybody know what is the difference between computer and network? An example. So what is the actual difference between like computer and network? So we have a network. On the top of network, we'll be connecting a group of machines. So one of the machine like PC1, we have a machine like PC2. We also have a machine like PC3. So after connecting a group of machines, means the computer connected physically, the computers are connected logically. So after connecting all the devices, so whenever I say like computer or whenever I say like network, so folder, it is actually available on computer and the share folder is actually available on network. What is the difference here? Now on the top of a machine, let's say I have a computer like PC1. So on this particular computer, we have a partition C. On the top of partition, let's say I store some pictures. Okay. So when you try to store the pictures, so by default, we need to create a folder. So that folder will be accessed only from this particular device. Okay. So whenever you try to store the data on a machine, so we actually create a folder. On the top of folder, you keep all the files, maybe pictures, maybe videos, maybe documents. It may be your the text files, all the data you keep. So by default, where this information accessed, so this information will be accessed only from computer. Even though the machine is connected on network, so that information when you store here, so that information will not be accessed over the network. So when the data access over the network, if you share this, there is a procedure. So unless until you share, so once you share the data, now the data will be available on network. Okay. So again, the question comes like, what is a sharing? Sharing is nothing but, I can give a many examples. Okay. So in our day-to-day life, we have a lot of examples like, after completing all the courses, maybe I go somewhere like Dubai, Saudi, maybe I go America. So for me, it is not possible like to have a separate flat or separate room. So what actually we do now, we already have certain friends, they already stay in a room, we have some kind of share room. Okay. So there will be one room, and in that particular room, maybe like 4 to 5 people are available. Okay. So I can also join the same room. So that means whatever the money we have for the rent, it will be divided, all the resources will be used, all the people in that particular room. Okay. So the main purpose of sharing means, so whatever you have, means when you store the data here, so that information not only accessed by this person who log in here, now the same data can also access from other machines. Okay. So something available somewhere, and whenever you want to access that information, for me, it is not possible like to all the time manually go to the machine, manually sit on a computer, manually access the data directly from a computer. So if the machine is connected, so what I can do, I can share that. Okay. So how to share? Practically, I'll show you. So when you share data, so not only access from PC1, now that information can also access from PC5. So that information can also access over the network Network means from any remote device. It may be from PC1, it may be from server, it may be from any device, whatever you have, you can access. So that is the meaning of sharing. That means even though we have a lot of technology in the market, so even you cannot say just connect a computer in a network, whatever the data which is available. So nobody access the data, whatever you store, unless until the data shared. Okay. So that's why here we are saying share folder, it is like a folder that contains information. Information may be pictures, it may be videos, it may be your emails, it may be your, whatever the data you keep. All the data when you share, it will be accessed over the network with the help of a remote computer. Remote computer maybe like PC1, maybe PC2 from anywhere. So now let us understand how to share. And before you share the data, we need to understand here like from where actually the sharing concept came to the market. Okay. So what were the topic which we are going to see? It is not like compulsory. We need to talk about only the latest operating system. Even we need to talk about the old version. Okay. So what the Microsoft has done, sharing, it is not a new concept. Okay. You cannot say like we are the only people we are learning about the sharing. Even before 5 years, before 10 years, before 20 years also, we have a lot of versions from the Microsoft. So in short, I can say the machine where you make a folder, if that machine connect on a network, you can share the data. So sharing is actually a concept for the network. Okay, if you have a network, you need to have sharing. Okay, so sharing, it is like a backbone of administrator. If you say you are administrator of a company and you don't know how to share data and how to access the data, so that means you are not an administrator. Okay, so even in today's time, we already have idea like how to share data, how to access, but practically we need to see multiple methods here. So what the Microsoft has done, Microsoft introduced many versions. So at least here, I'll try to show you some version and some differences. Okay. And one more thing. So Microsoft introduced many versions. And let us understand what is the actual difference between like old and the new version related to a share folder. Okay. So at least I can show you the differences from 2007. It is outdated, but still you can see. Even in 2003 also we have a same. Okay. So previously what happened, let's say, I am sitting on a server which is running 2000 and 2003. On the top of that, maybe you have a partition C, D, E, any partition. On the top of partition, let's say, suppose you share. So once you share, automatically we try to have certain symbols. Okay. By seeing the symbols, previously directly we can say whether it's a folder or share folder. Okay. So previously we used to have a symbol for hand. Okay. So once you share, automatically you have a hand symbol. Okay. I'll show you. Even I'll try to show you like how the symbol look like. So after 2003, the next version introduced by Microsoft like 2008. In 2008, what the Microsoft has done? Now he removed hand symbol. Some changes we have. Instead of hand, we have a symbol for two heads. Okay. Now after 2008, the next operating system introduced by Microsoft like 2012, 2016, even in 2019, what the Microsoft has done? Now Microsoft made a lot of changes. So whenever if you share the data in 2003, like 2012, 2016, and 2019, now we don't have any symbol. Okay, so that means directly you cannot say, but how to differentiate? I'll try to show you practically. Okay, so first of all, let us see how the symbol look like. So you need to open Google, and here I'll write share folder icon. You can go to the images. So previously, like whenever we try to share the data, we have certain symbols. Okay. So one of the symbol you can see, we have a symbol like this. hand symbol. So that symbol represents, that is a shape folder. So this is like old version, like XP, 2003, 2000 professional, like these are the folders. When you share something, you have a symbol automatic. So by seeing symbol, you can say direct whether it's a folder or share folder. But after certain time in 2008, when you install a new operating system like 2008, I'll try to show you one symbol. Like here we have a symbol. They have a symbol like this, two head symbol. Okay. So once you share, you get this symbol. What about today? So today, if I open, if I go to any, if I go to my Windows 10 or machine or Windows server, so when you open my computer, so right now you can see it looks like same, nothing we have, means I don't have any symbols here. Okay. So that means, so directly you cannot say this is a folder or this is a share folder. Okay. So how to differentiate? The first method is, now when you go to properties of a folder and when you click here sharing tab, so normally just you make a folder, it will say this is not a shared, it's not shared, that is a folder. Okay. But if you share, when you go properties and if you click sharing, so if you share, now it will show you like this. Okay. So now you can see what is the difference between like Azure and India. So I don't have any symbols here. Okay. So previously we used to have certain symbol. By that symbol directly you can differentiate whether, you can say like it's a folder, it's a share folder. But in today's operating system, Microsoft has, not giving any symbols. Okay. So this thing you need to understand. Okay. So let us understand how to share. So first of all, I'll make a new folder. Okay. Now I'll be making a folder like MCSE data. And on the top of a folder, you can store some data. So I already copied certain files here. And these are my text files. You can keep any data, whatever you like. Okay. So basically, what is my aim? When you store the data, I want this information. I don't want to access only from like a computer which I'm sitting here. So I don't want to access only from DC1. I want to access the data even from different machines. Maybe like I have a computer here like PC1, PC2, whatever the devices we have, I want to access. So if you want to access the data over the network, you have to share. So for sharing, I'm going to show you two methods now. First method, you can right click, you can go with the option like share with, or second method, we can go to properties. So we can, so properties we'll see later. So first let's talk about share with specific people. Stop sharing means if you already shared, you can also remove the sharing. Just right click and say stop sharing. Okay. So let's talk about the sharing here. So when you select the option like I want to share the data with a specific people, so now the company is asking choose people on your network to share with. Okay. So here the machine is asking like you have to put a name. So what kind of name? Name means like I have to give a name of a device or name of an employee. Okay. So the last session we discussed about user account. And the reason like why we created account. So whenever any employee joins the company, for every employee we created accounts here. Okay. And this account will be logged into different machine in network. Okay. Somebody log into PC1, somebody log into PC2, somebody log into PC3, somebody log into PC4. So here name doesn't mean like I'm not giving name of these computers. Okay. So name in the sense we are talking about the employee, the account which we created. Okay. So I create account like Sam log into this machine, Jack log into this machine, Ali log into this machine. So somebody log into this machine, like what were the people who log into different devices. So these people log in, why? Because these people, they have a valid account. So here name in the sense, so don't give the name of a device. You have to give a name of an employee, the login name. Okay. Click add. Okay. So we created one account, so we can open AD and you can see like we created account like Jack. I also created account Muhammad. So like this I created. If you want, you can also create some more accounts. Right click and say new user. So one of the user like sales1. So login name also I'll be giving like sales1. Then I put a password. Okay. So password minimum 7 characters, especially complex. I don't want the user change the password. So now normally what happened here? So after creating an account, so if you don't have, you have to create it. Now, so here is asking the name. So name means here I'll put a name, Jack, and I'll say add. Okay. And remember, whatever account which are created, only these people I'll give permission. Okay. Active Directory plays a very, very important role here. Means you have a lot of security. So in a company, let's say you have 100 people, employ 200 people. So if those people they don't have account in AD, so you cannot able to give a permission. You cannot put a name here. So if I use any name, let's say if I try to give a name here like Anas, and if you say add, the request automatically will go to AD. So background, it is going to verify whether if there is account by the name Anas, so the machine automatically forward a request to AD. But on Active Directory, there is no account by the name Anas. So instead of that, if I put a name like here, Jack, so without anything, now that name is accepted by because that is created. Okay. And one more thing, the method which I'm showing, like when you right click and if you say new share, so here you have to give complete login name. Okay. So if you don't remember spelling, so it's very difficult here. Means suppose if you want to use direct name, MOHAMM, but I don't know complete name is AD or ED. So when I say as, the computer say, boss, there is no account by the name like MOHAMM. Okay, here you have to give complete spelling correct. So normally, if some people they have very big name, and if you do a small mistake, so if you're not able to add, you cannot give a permission. So what I can do? So click arrow to find someone. So if you don't remember, so what I can do? So if you can click arrow button. So the arrow means this is the arrow here. So you can click arrow, and either you can share with everyone or you can able to share with a specific employee. Everyone means all the people include. So whatever account exists in your AD, all the people by default they will getting permission, they can access. Okay. But remember, one of the separate topic I'm going to show you regarding permission. So today, just we try to understand how to share data and how the data we access by using multiple methods. But coming session, I'll try to show you regarding a separate class of permission, like what is read permission, write permission, what permission you want for the Ali, what permission you want for Jack, what permission you want for Muhammad. So different users, they have different permissions. Okay. So if you don't know, you can write and find the people. And here you can able to, if you don't know the spelling, so here you can say check names. Here you can able to find out. But directly you cannot do here. Or else you can go advanced, you can go find now. And here you will be having some option here. This there will be a list. This list we call as access control list. Okay, so from here you can able to select the user direct. If you don't know even a single word, you can directly browse. Okay. So today I'll be giving permission to all employees, means all the people. So read permission, write permission. So we'll see in coming session. So here we have an option share. Okay. So once you share, so do you think like the responsibility of administrator is done? Okay. So whenever you share data, so the data administrator responsibility is not finished. Even like nobody know what data actually share with them. Okay. So as an administrator, I share the data with sales people. So how the sales people comes to know, how the IT people comes to know, how the marketing people comes to know, okay, some kind of data we already share to these particular people. So normally what happens here? So once you share data, one of the duty of administrator, so you have to what? Send email. Okay. So the next very important concept, like once you share, you have to send email. Why? Because email is a document. You can say instead of verbal, it is a proper document work. Okay. So now based on my requirement, okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to send this email to certain people. Okay. The people who are have permission, I just send email. So what they will do, simply they log in, they already have an email. So just they click email, on the top of email, they will be having a link. So just they click the link, automatically they connect it. Okay. But that's why you have to understand email servers. Okay. If you want to go with system admin should also have a knowledge of exchange server. Okay. So right now we don't have any outlook here. So if I click here, so the computer will give you one error. So there is no email program associated to, even like we don't have even exchange server on my network. Okay. So normally what will happen, like once you click, then automatically you'll be getting Outlook. To whom you want, you can able to send email. Simple. Okay. So as of now, what I'm doing here, I'll say done. Similarly, I want to share one more. Right click, you can say share with. So we have already done this. Now instead of that, now I can go the second method. You can go properties, and here we have the option like secure sharing. On the top of sharing, first of all, like this is not a share. This is only folder. It's not a share. So either we can go with this option or I can select advanced. Okay. If I click first option, share, again it will give you the same which we have already done. So this method we have done, you have to give a name, then add it, and whatever permission you want, you can grant, then you can say share it. Instead of that, now when you go advanced, and why we go advanced? Advanced, if you want a custom permission, create multiple shares and set other advanced sharing options. Okay. Now the reason here we have multiple shares. Multiple share is also important. Okay. So normally, like what is the meaning of multiple share? So I have some data like project, and I'm going to share this project data with sales people. So at the time of sharing, so what I'll do, let's say the name of a folder is project. Okay. At the time of sharing, I can use the name of a folder is sales project. Okay. And this folder will be accessed all the sales people. The same I can share one more time by the name IT project. So this data will be accessed by IT project. Okay. So the sales people, IT people, you know, they are going to access the same. Okay. But these people, they don't have idea. Those people, they feel like, okay, we people accessing IT, we people access sales, but indirectly they are going to access the same data. So the meaning of multiple share is one folder you can share multiple times by multiple names, so that you'll be having some kind of security. Okay, like one person has multiple names. If I stay in a home, maybe I have one name. If I go to school, I can have another name. If I go institute, I can have another name. Okay, so depends like how, like from where the people are coming to my home. If somebody is coming from my area, so he call one name. Somebody is coming from my school, he call one name. Somebody is coming from my institute, he can call another name. So that means according to like what people actually coming to my home, they use certain name. Personality is only one. I'm the only person available by multiple names. Okay. In network also, I share some data by multiple names. So that multiple shares you can do with the help of advanced sharing. I can go with this advanced. I say share it, and even I can decide like the name of the folder is India. I can decide, okay, instead of India, I want like USA. I can do that. Right? So we talk about permission later, like what is full control, change, or read permission. So I'll take separate class. I'll say apply. Okay. So this is share. Now, once you share, even I can share one more time. It's not compulsory all the time you share multiple. One time sharing is enough. But sometimes if you have a requirement, you can go advanced. So this is already shared by USA name. Now I can share one more by the name like UK. So if somebody connect to this share folder by UK, somebody connect to the share folder by USA, both the people, they are accessing same data, but by using separate name. So what I can do for UK, I can have separate permission here. For US, I can have separate permission. That is the main important advantage. Apply. Okay. Like this, you can share multiple. You have to make a folder. I make a folder like by name VMware, and to share, right click, either you can go properties or you can go share with. This is our sharing. Okay. Now, the next thing we need to understand here, how to differentiate which is folder or which is share folder. So now, in order to understand like which, how many folders and how many shares, so it is not it is not directly possible to go, the properties and to check one by one, whether it's a folder or share folder. Simply what I do, I'll show you one command. Even graphically also I'll show you. So you can use a simple command. We have net share. So simple command. Just go and write net share. When you press enter, it will show only the share information. When you share, then only that will come here. Okay. Even it will also show you now what type of share folders available, by what name, and where that share folder exists in your machine. So right now, like all the shares available in C drive, even it shows the location. There is a share folder UK. Where it is in C drive, the name of folder is India. One of the share available like MCSE data, it is in C drive, the name of the folder is MCSE data. So either you can go with the same name or you can also go with the different name. Okay. So you can use this command. The second method, which is also a graphical method. Now, last time we talked about the server manager. So when you open server manager, in server manager, we have an option here, files and storage setting services. Just click this, and here we have a separate option for the share. You see this? So there is a separate option here, share. Just click this. So once you click, graphically it will try to show you how many shares are available. So no need to go properties. Each and every folder, just go the server manager. You can have all the options. So that is how we share the data. But how, why actually we share the data? So we share the data so that it will be available for user. So wherever user log in, wherever the employee log in on network, so those people, they can access from those computers. Okay. So till now what we have done, we already share the data, and that information they are going to access over the network. On the top of network, we'll be using a lot of clients here. Okay. So you need to log in somebody on network. Whatever the clients you have, go and try to access. To access, we have multiple methods. Okay. Multiple methods in that sense. Now, first, this method we call commands. And these three methods we have graphical. So first I'll show you command, then I'll try to show you some graphical methods. So I'll go to some client here, one of the clients, and we are going to log in as user. Who is the user? You can log in as Jack, you can log in as Muhammad, you can log in as sales one. So whoever you want, you can log in. So let's say somewhere in network, Jack log in and he want to access the data which I share. So first of all, when Jack log in, automatically he will be having mail. He can access direct from there. Okay. But if he doesn't have email, or administrator personally said something like if you want to access, so how we can access? We have some methods. So apart from all, even if you understand one method, that is enough. So on another machine, we also try to log in as MOHAMMED password. Okay, I change the password. Now, so who log in here? Simply you can open command prompt. By default, you can see the person who log into this machine is Jack. How? The name is directly available. Okay. So the name of the user is Jack. So the first method is command line. So where Jack login, The name of the computer is like PC3, and you can even see the IP address, IP config. So the IP address of this machine is 192.10.1.1.3. Even you can also check communication from your server. To check the communication, we use the command ping. Just write the command ping. So the IP of the server 10.1.1.1. 10.1.1. Okay, now the communication is there. So when there is a communication, you can access. How you can access? So the first command we have net use. So net use is a command to access the share. So you can use net use, then you can push any letter. Let's say I'll be giving R. So whatever the letter you want, you can give, but don't give the letter which is already available. Now when you open my computer, you will be having some drive letter here. So don't give A, C, and D, except you can give any letter. So here I'm giving R letter, then space, double backward slash. Now, what is the name of the server? Server name is DC1, and what shareholder he want to access? Now this person want to access the shareholder Azure. Okay. So whatever he want, he can access. Means if he has the permission to access Azure, just write the name of a server, name of a share. So when you press enter, automatically the machine give you one answer here. The command completed successfully. So how we can access now? He need to open my computer like C or D, or when you open my computer like the personal partition, he can also have one more. Net use, give any letter. Okay, maybe he doesn't have permission. If there is no permission, then you cannot access. DC1 is the name of a server, and I share some data with full control permission. See, I'll be getting maybe error here. So you got this drive, but this person doesn't have permission. Because of permission, he is not able to open it. Already got this. So we have, okay, R is already given. So this time I'll be giving like K. So one of the shareholder I have given permission everyone, MCSE data. So when you press enter, here also command completed successfully. So here when I open my computer, so like A, C, or D, one more K. There is another R, but this Azure I don't have permission. But when I share MCSE data, I have given permission to everyone. So now I can open, I can able to access all the data. And remember, this information, it is not from this client computer where user login. So user login to a client. So this is not the data of this particular machine on PC3. PC3, this is not the data. This information is actually available on server. Where in the server? On the top of server, you have MCSE data. So all this data, client will be accessed over the network with the help of his machine. So once he done, now what he can do? He can right click and he can disconnect. Now, the next command we have net view. So net view is a command where you can see the complete overview of a network. Like in your network, how many machines are connected? Okay. So the domain which I created, I have 3 devices. One is DC1, one is PC2, one is PC3. Okay. Sometimes what happens? I want to access the data from server, but I don't remember actual name of server. Sometimes we don't remember. So to know the name of a devices, you can write net view, means it will show you the complete overview of a network. And if you want to know, like by sitting here, I want to know like how many shares we have. I have shown you one command like net share. So that command, if you write, it will show you on the top of device how many shares are available, but you have to use the command direct on a device. Over the network, if you want to know how many shares exist, then we use one command. The next command we have net view space // I put a name of a server DC1. So now from client device, I can able to know this many shares are available in server. So here, now you know the name of a share folder. You also know the name of a device. Now you can able to access by using command like net use share folder name. You can give any letter, space, colon, // then name of a share folder, name of a server. You can access. You get a drive. So the name of the drive we actually represent as map network drive. So that is by command. The same thing you can also do by command line. So this command we have seen now. These are the three. So the first we have seen the command, then net view, the name of a device. Second method we have graphical. So when I use this command, one drive is creating. That is called a map network drive. The same thing I can have by using second graphical method. How we can do that? Just right click on computer. And here you have one option, map network drive. Just click this. So this will be a graphical method. You can select later. And here, if you know already server name, you can write the name of a server is DC1. The name of the server is like India. You can have direct. Even Microsoft has given the helpline here. If you don't know, you can go browse. So you have a network. On the top of network, it will show you like from where you want to access. So I want to access the data of my DC1. And in DC1, I want to access USA. I say OK, then finish. So automatically it will try to connect to that particular share. And here also when you open my computer, the drive is created by letter T. So this drive is actually connected to network. Network means whatever the share that is exists on that particular machine, that share is coming as a drive. So the name of the drive we call as map network drive. So you can right click and here you can disconnect. The third method we can also access data over the network by using a option here, network only. So where do you see network option? So whenever you open my computer, somebody log in, you have a my computer. Below there is option network. Just click network. So here you have graphically, it will show you how many machines are available in network. On the network, DC1 is there. On the network, PC2 is there. PC3 is there. Now I want to access the data of server, that is DC1. I can open, I can able to access. So, okay. I can click this. So my computer, network. We have all the devices, open it. We have all the shares, whatever you want, you can access. The last method is simple or shortcut. At least you have to remember this. To access the share folder, we have to go run. So here you can give the name of a server, that is DC1. What share folder you want to access, you can put the name also. So if you have a permission, you can access. If you don't have permission, then you can also get error. When you go run, as I told you, Azure, I don't have permission. So when you try to access the data which you don't have permission, you'll be getting error like this. So you don't have permission to access Azure, contact your network administrator to access. Or else you can just write only the name of the server. If you want to know how many shares are available, you have the complete list. So now you can access anything, what permissions, if you have a permission to access something, you can access. So this is our today's session. So today we talk about sharing. On the sharing, we have seen like how to, what is actually a share folder, how to share the data, and how the data will be accessed over the network by multiple methods. Okay. So today stop here. If you have any question, you can ask me.